Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Abhineet Shukla and with me is Reshma Tiwari, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, India will be a witness to a splendid and historic moment when it completes 75 years of independence. Fourth edition of India and Oman joint military exercise to begin in Rajasthan from Monday. India observes Chabahar Day with emphasis on linkage with Central Asia. Pakistani currency depreciates by 14.5% against the US dollar, registering its worst month in over 50 years. US House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi begins tour of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan. In Commonwealth Games, Jeremy Lalinga wins gold medal in men's 67 kg weightlifting. President, Vice President and Prime Minister congratulate Jeremy. And in CWG cricket, India women thrash Pakistan by 8 wickets. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, it will be a splendid and historic moment when India completes 75 years of its independence next month. He called countrymen lucky to have been born in a free country. Sharing his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on Sunday, Mr. Modi said, the 91st episode of the program is very special as it comes just before completing 75 years of India's independence.
मन की बात का ये 91वां एपिसोड है। हम लोगों ने पहले इतनी सारी बातें की हैं, अलग अलग विषयों पर अपनी बात साझा की है, लेकिन इस बार मन की बात बहुत खास है। इसका कारण है इस बार का स्वतंत्रता दिवस, जब भारत अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष पूरे करेगा। हम सभी बहुत अद्भुत और ऐतिहासिक पल के गवाह बनने जा रहे हैं। ईश्वर ने ये हमें बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य दिया है। आप भी सोचिए, अगर हम गुलामी के दौर में पैदा हुए होते तो इस दिन की कल्पना हमारे लिए कैसी होती। गुलामी से मुक्ति की वो तड़प, पराधीनता की बेड़ियों से आजादी की वो बेचैनी कितनी बड़ी रही होगी। वो दिन जब हम हर दिन लाखों लाख देशवासियों को आजादी के लिए लड़ते, जूझते, बलिदान देते देख रहे होते, जब हम हर सुबह इस सपने के साथ जग रहे होते कि मेरा हिंदुस्तान कब आजाद होगा, और हो सकता है हमारे जीवन में वो भी दिन आता जब वंदे मातरम और भारत माँ की जय बोलते हुए हम आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए अपना जीवन समर्पित कर देते, जवानी खपा देते।
The Prime Minister said, the biggest message that emerges from all the events being organized in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is that all of us countrymen should follow our duty with full devotion. Only then will India be able to fulfill the dream of those countless freedom fighters and to build the India of their dreams. That is why this Amrit Kal of India in next 25 years is Kartavya Kal, a period of duty for every countryman. The Prime Minister spoke about the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign which is being held under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Talking about importance of Indian traditional methods like Ayurveda, Mr. Modi said, Ayush has played an important role at the global level. He stated that Ayush exports have witnessed a record growth and many new startups are emerging in this sector.
हाल ही में एक ग्लोबल आयुष इन्वेस्टमेंट और इनोवेशन समिट हुई थी। आप जानकर हैरान होंगे, इसमें करीब 10,000 करोड़ रुपए के इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रपोजल्स मिले हैं। एक और बड़ी अहम बात ये हुई है कि कोरोना काल में औषधीय पौधों पर रिसर्च में भी बहुत वृद्धि हुई है। इस बारे में बहुत सी रिसर्च स्टडीज पब्लिश हो रही हैं। निश्चित रूप से एक अच्छी शुरुआत है।
The Prime Minister shared the success stories of the Indian toy industry and gave the credit to the youth, startups and entrepreneurs. He said that when it comes to Indian toys, the echo of vocal for local is being heard everywhere. Mr. Modi stated that the number of toys coming from abroad in India is continuously decreasing.
The fourth edition of India-Oman joint military exercise, Al-Najah IV, between contingents of Indian Army and the Royal Army of Oman, is scheduled to take place at the foreign training node of Mahajan Field Firing Ranges in Indian northern state of Rajasthan from Monday. It will continue till the 13th of next month. The Royal Army of Oman contingent, comprising 60 personnel from the Sultan of Oman Parachute Regiment, have arrived at the exercise location. The Indian Army is represented by troops from the 18 Mechanized Infantry Battalion. The scope of the exercise includes professional interaction, mutual understanding of drills and procedures, establishment of joint command and control structures, and elimination of terrorist threats. The joint exercise would focus on counter-terrorism operations, regional security operations and peacekeeping operations under United Nations Charter, apart from organizing joint physical training schedules, tactical drills, techniques and procedures. The joint military exercise aims to enhance the level of defense cooperation between the Indian Army and the Royal Army of Oman and will further manifest in enhancing the bilateral relations between the two nations. The third edition of Vietnam-India Bilateral Army Exercise ex-Winbacks 2022 will begin at Chandi Mandir on Monday. It will continue till the 20th August. The exercise is a sequel to previously conducted bilateral exercise in Vietnam in 2019 and a major milestone in strengthening the bilateral relations between India and Vietnam. India and Vietnam share a comprehensive strategic partnership, and defense cooperation is a key pillar of this partnership. Vietnam is an important partner in India's Act East policy and the Indo-Pacific vision. The theme of ex-Winbacks 2022 is employment and deployment of an engineer company and a medical team as part of United Nations Contingent for peacekeeping operations.
Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey, who is on a visit to Bhutan, called on Bhutanese King Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk on Sunday. They discussed aspects of enhancing the enduring bilateral relationship between the two nations. The Indian Army tweeted that General Manoj Pandey also received an impeccable guard of honor at capital Thimphu. The Army Chief also interacted with Lieutenant General Bhatu Sheding, Chief Operations Officer of the Royal Bhutan Army. The visit is to enhance the unique and time-tested bilateral relationship characterized by utmost trust, goodwill and mutual understanding, the Indian Army had posted the statement earlier. India's Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbananda Sonowal, affirmed the country's commitment towards unlocking the trade potential with the Central Asian region through the use of Chabahar port in Iran. He was addressing a conference in Mumbai on Sunday on the occasion of Chabahar Day to mark the beginning of an Indian vision to economize movement of cargo between India and Central Asia through the Chabahar port located in Iran. Mr. Sonowal said that Indian government envisions to make Chabahar port a transit hub under the International North-South Transport Corridor (INSTC) to reach out to Commonwealth independent states countries. The minister further said that Chabahar port links the rich Central Asian region with the South Asian markets. It has emerged as significant for trade, economic collaborations and connecting people between the two geographies. Owing to the potential of the Central Asian markets, the Indian-led connectivity has provided a secure and commercially viable access to the Indian Ocean region for Central Asian countries. Mr. Sonowal added that this link will not only provide connectivity, but also drive investments further supporting our cultural and political ties. The minister said that the Chabahar port will lead to promoting a joint initiative to create a regional and international transport corridor over there. Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Shripad Yesso Naik said that in the coming years, developments in the Shahid Beheshti port, which is the part of Chabahar port, will support the faster growth of business and raise standards of living in the region. He stated that the infrastructural linkage would lead to expansion of trade and investment prospects in the region. Ambassadors of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, among others, graced the occasion. Dr. A.M. Ali Khani, Consul General of the Islamic Republic of Iran, also took part in the deliberations.
The transshipment arrangement between India and Bangladesh moved further with a fresh trial run of a cargo vessel from the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee port to Mongla port on Saturday. Our Dhaka correspondent has the details.
Moving ahead toward the full implementation of the agreement reached between India and Bangladesh in 2014 for the use of Chattogram and Mongla ports in Bangladesh for transshipment of goods, a container vessel left the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee port in Kolkata for Mongla port with a consignment of iron pipes and preform. The consignment is expected to reach Mongla port on 5th of August, from where the shipped items will be sent by road to Tammabil and Bibir Bazar land ports for delivery into Meghalaya and Assam respectively. 4 such trial runs will be conducted over the next few months towards preparation for the full implementation of the agreement Rajesh Jha, AIR News, Dhaka.
And in today's Hotspot section, we bring you a discussion on India-Maldives ties and the road ahead. In conversation are Shilkant Sharma, former diplomat, and Nilova Roy Chaudhary, journalist.
President Ibrahim Mohammed Soli of the Maldives will be coming on a 4-day visit to India from tomorrow, August the 1st. This is going to be providing an opportunity for the leaders of both countries to review the progress made in this very significant relationship. President Soli will be accompanied by a high-level official and business delegation. He will first be calling on President Draupadi Murmu of India, and then he will hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. All of these are scheduled for Tuesday, August 2nd. External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar will also be calling on President Soli, and all of the official engagements will be in New Delhi. After he concludes the New Delhi leg of his visit, President Soli will be visiting Mumbai to seek certain investments and other financial opportunities in Mumbai. The Maldives is one of India's key maritime neighbors in the Indian Ocean region, and the overall bilateral relationship, including in the areas of defense and security, have seen an upward trajectory in the past few years. We are joined this evening by Ambassador Shilkant Sharma, who will explain the crucial strategic importance of the Maldives to India. Good evening, Shil.
Good evening, Ilwa.
In recent years, the partnership between India and the Maldives has flowered and been restored, as it were, after a period of considerable tension in the relationship prior to 2018. What do you think has been responsible for this particular current state of good relations between India and the Maldives?
I think the first and foremost is the readiness of India to reach out to all our neighbors, in particular to Maldives. India has reached out to Maldives in helping Maldives develop its economy, its infrastructure, and a huge array of projects have been supported by India. And India has no axe to grind in that sense. It doesn't intend to derive any exterior or ulterior advantages from its engagement with Maldives, except that as a neighbor, Maldives should have the highest comfort level with India and vice versa. So that has been generally a trend which has gained strength over the last 4 years under President Soli. He came here in 2018 and this is his second visit. He had also come to Bangalore to watch the IPL in 2019. So this is also part of our dream that the neighborhood should be such that visits from the highest level should be frequent and free of heavy protocols. They could come freely. And however, this visit is a proper visit. He's accompanied by a large delegation. His Minister of Finance, Transport, National Planning and Infrastructure, and they are all a part of his team. His foreign secretary is coming, and there is an ambitious ground-breaking ceremony which will be done during this visit of this huge project of 6.74 kilometers long bridge causeway link, which will be connecting the national capital of Male with 3 adjoining islands, Willingly, Guli Falhu, and Tilafushi. Now, these are the main population areas of Maldives. Half the population of 5 lakh plus lives in these areas.
Yes.
So this bridge is going to be will go a long way in connecting and rejuvenating the economy in that sense, because they will and this bridge dwarfs the Chinese built bridge which was completed in 2018. It was only 1.4 kilometer long.
Development cooperation, as you're rightly saying, has been a key pillar of the India-Maldives relationship. And New Delhi has been providing lines of credit worth almost $1.2 billion for infrastructure and grants and so on. But equally important has been the maritime security issues in which the two countries have collaborated. And this has, in fact, in certain ways been part of a problem that the former president of the Maldives, that Abdullah Yamin, has been trying to, raise and, even with something called the India Out campaign that was happening in Maldives. And President Soli has banned all this kind of opposition in that island nation. The point is that, there are still very many elements within the Maldives, or at least some of them, who are trying to portray the relationship between India and the Maldives in a negative light, as being only based on security and so on. Is that a fair assessment, or do you think that it is something that former President Abdullah Yamin has just needlessly been trying to rake up?
Well, Maldives is a small country, and their political class is even smaller. And the external powers have been crudely pumping money there and trying to buy off these leaders. And this crude inspiration to have out India, this campaign was very, very crude. It has a hallmark of, some in Asia who have been doing these things very bluntly.
Yes.
But it didn't work because the Indian contributions to Maldives go back long years, from the 1980s. And we've always been a benign neighbor, always come to help. And this help was without strings attached.
Yeah.
And this came through the opposition to Yamin, and who was actually badly treated by Yamin, and who was the president of Maldives in 2011, had the SAARC summit in Malé. So, but he was unceremoniously removed, and now Nasheed is back. He's the Speaker of the Assembly. And so his party has, and the present president, Ibrahim Mohammed Saleh, has been protégé in that sense. In terms of politics, what happens is that stories from recently have come that for some reason Nasheed has been unhappy with President Saleh. And he's raising big storm against him. And there was an attack on Nasheed's life, so he blames the president and the police for not doing enough to investigate. So these are some internal problems. And as it's common in smaller countries, that very easily the political leadership, especially the opposition, begins to blame the large neighbor for all their ills. So in the case of Maldives also, Yamin and his party has been indulging in this kind of muckraking against India. It hasn't gelled because the help that India gave has been in all sides.
Right.
The Maldivian former foreign minister became the president of the General Assembly, UN General Assembly last year.
Yes.
And India went all out to support his candidature, and we were fully behind his tenure as the president of the General Assembly. He came to India. So there has been this kind of a coordination and dialogue between India and Maldives. As maritime security, the whole issue was there from the time, it's more than a decade old now. There has been this maritime security dialogue between India, Sri Lanka and Maldives. And began somewhere, in the beginning of the last decade. It has continued, it has built upon things. We have considered, travel between India and Maldives through ships also. There are flights, and so there is a sense of maritime commerce between the two countries, and to facilitate the maritime connectivity. And in that connectivity also, people-to-people movement are important. Being a neighbor, and Maldives is a country with more than 100 islands, spread over all the way up to almost like the equator. So in terms of Indian Ocean ambience and security, Maldives' location is geostrategically very important.
Sheel, thank you very much indeed, Ambassador Sharma.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
The Pakistani currency depreciated by 14.5% against the US dollar, registering its worst month in over 50 years as the country continues to struggle with high import payments, depleting foreign exchange reserves and political uncertainty. The value of the Pakistani rupee was 204.85 against the US dollar in the interbank market at the start of July. Even though fewer trading sessions took place due to the Eid holidays, the currency closed at 239.37 against the US dollar on July the 29th, Business Recorder reported. Earlier, the Pakistani currency slumped by 57% in May 1972. The government had termed the decision inevitable. Meanwhile, Pakistan Finance Minister Miftah Ismail said on Sunday that pressure on the rupee, which has taken a severe beating against the dollar in recent weeks, would ease in the next 2 weeks, Aaj News reported. He said this while addressing a press conference in Islamabad.
U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi is beginning a tour of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan with no mention of a possible visit to Taiwan. She is leading a congressional delegation to the Indo-Pacific, according to a statement released by her office on Sunday. The statement made no mention of Taiwan despite speculation in recent days that Pelosi might be planning to visit the self-governing democracy of 24 million people. No high-ranking U.S. elected official has visited Taiwan in 25 years. Ms. Pelosi, a California Democrat, tweeted that the 6-person congressional delegation tour would seek to reaffirm America's unshakable commitment to our allies and friends in the region.
U.S. President Joe Biden has tested positive for the coronavirus again on Saturday. Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the White House physician, said that the president has experienced no re-emergence of symptoms and continues to feel quite well. The rebound positivity, as O'Connor termed it, meant that Biden was forced to resume strict isolation procedures in keeping with medical advice. The White House announced that Mr. Biden would no longer travel to his home in Wilmington, Delaware on Sunday as planned or make a scheduled visit to Michigan on Tuesday. At the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, Jeremy Lalinga won the gold medal for India in the men's 67 kg category in weightlifting on Sunday. He lifted a total of 300 kilograms. He lifted 140 kilograms in snatch and 160 kg in clean and jerk. This is India's second gold and fifth overall medal at the CWG Games. Talking to media, Jeremy said he was happy to have won gold medal for the country. He said he is going to prepare hard for Paris Olympics.
परफॉर्मेंस के लिए मैं खुश नहीं हूँ क्योंकि काफी प्रिपेयर किया इसके लिए और ठीक है कि मैंने गोल्ड मेडल मिल गया जी। क्लीन एंड जर्क में हम जैसे ही स्टार्ट किया था तो मेरा मसल फ्रंट थाइस और इनर थाई क्रैम्प होने लग गया था। उसका वजह से वॉकिंग भी नहीं हो रहा था, वार्मिंग अप भी नहीं कर पाया था मैंने और वार्मिंग अप में भी मैंने 140 तक मुश्किल से किया था मैंने। गोल्ड मेडल हमारा देश के लिए लेके आया 300 में, वो तो अच्छी है। पेरिस ओलंपिक के लिए मैं तैयारी करूंगा 73 kg में। बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे क्योंकि हर एथलीट का सपना होता है कि पोडियम में हमारा नेशनल एंथम बजे।
President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have congratulated Jeremy Lalinga for winning gold. In women's cricket, India trounced Pakistan by 8 wickets to keep its hopes alive in the event. Chasing the target of 100 runs in a rain-truncated match of 18 overs, Indian Eves reached the target in 11.4 overs. Smriti Mandhana top-scored with 63 runs. In hockey, relentless India got their Commonwealth Games 2022 campaign off to a flying start as they defeated Ghana in their first game after scoring a total of 11 goals in Birmingham. As many as 8 Indians managed to score the goals, but the star of the show was vice-captain Harmanpreet Singh as he scored a hat-trick. In women's boxing, Nikhil Zareen stormed into the quarter-finals of the 50 kilograms event. Indian men's table tennis team continued a successful defense of their title as they thrashed Bangladesh 3-0 to enter the semi-finals.
In Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the annual pilgrimage of Sri Amarnath Ji is going on smoothly. More and more pilgrims drawn from various parts of the country are reaching the city of temples, Jammu. Nearly 294,000 pilgrims have paid their obeisance to Lord Shiva at the holy cave shrine of Sri Amarnath Ji so far. The prayers of Holy Mace, Chhadi Mubarak, which is associated with the pilgrimage, has been going on since Friday. It was taken to Shankaracharya Ji Temple on Friday, Sharika Bhavani Temple on Saturday, and at Sri Amareshwar Ji Temple in the heart of Srinagar city on Sunday. Here's a report from our correspondent. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
In connection with the ongoing annual pilgrimage of Sri Amarnath Ji, the Chhadi Sthapana ceremony of Holy Mace of Chhadi Mubarak, a silver mace of Swami Amarnath was performed at Shri Amreshwarji Temple, Akhada building in Srinagar today. On the occasion, a group of sadhus led by Mahant Dipinder Giri, the custodian of the Chhadi Mubarak, held prayers amid the chanting of Vedic hymns for about 2 hours. Chhadi Mubarak, the holy mace, one depicting Lord Shiva and another goddess Parvati, will be kept in the Amreshwarji temple in Srinagar, enabling the devotees to pay their obeisance to the Chhadi Mubarak till August 7, and thereafter shall be taken for the main course of pilgrimage of Shri Amarnathji in the Himalayas of South Kashmir. The traditional Chhadi Pujan is scheduled to be performed on Tuesday, the 2nd of August, on the occasion of Nag Panchami, the Shravan Shukla Paksh Panchami at the Amreshwar temple in Srinagar. Chhadi Mubarak shall leave on 7th of August for the holy cave shrine from Srinagar, and the traditional pujan and other rituals shall be performed on the auspicious occasion of Shravan Purnima, coinciding the festival of Raksha Bandhan on 12th of August this year, and in this way it would mark an end of this year's annual pilgrimage of Shri Amarnathji. Sunil Kohl for World News, All India Radio from Srinagar, Kashmir.
Today is the death anniversary of the legendary Indian playback singer Mohammad Rafi, who passed away on 31st July 1980 in Mumbai. He is considered as one of the greatest and the most influential singers of the Indian subcontinent. He is known for his versatility and range of voice. Mohammad Rafi received 6 Filmfare Awards and 1 National Film Award. The Government of India honoured Rafi with the Padma Shri Award in 1967. He recorded nearly 7,000 songs throughout his career, spanning several languages and dialects. Rafi also sang in some foreign languages, including English, Persian, Arabic and Dutch, beside Hindi, Urdu and Punjabi. Let's listen to a song from the film An Evening in Paris, sung by Mohammad Rafi. And here's another one from Love in Tokyo.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian notes that Oxford University may return items looted from Nigeria by Britain in 1897. South China Morning Post says she urges Chinese Communist Party to step up Hong Kong and Taiwan efforts. The Financial Times writes that Zelensky urges civilians to leave Donetsk as fighting rages. The Wall Street Journal reports falling food prices ease pressure on global inflation. A quick look at the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India will be a witness to a splendid and historic moment when it completes 75 years of independence. 4th edition of India and Oman joint military exercise to begin in Rajasthan from Monday. India observes Chabahar Day with emphasis on linkage with Central Asia. Pakistani currency depreciates by 14.5% against the US dollar, registering its worst month in over 50 years. US House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi begins tour of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan. In Commonwealth Games, Jeremy Lalinga wins gold medal in men's 67 kg weightlifting. President, Vice President and Prime Minister congratulate Jeremy. And in CWG cricket, India women thrash Pakistan by 8 wickets. And now before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan Vaishnav Jan by artists from Maldives.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पर आए जाने रे
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पर आए जाने रे
पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान ना वैष्णव वैष्णवजन तो तेने कहिए।
With that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.